Hey everybody, it's Tina Polish, your functional health coach. If you struggle with chronic symptoms or you've considered that, have you ever considered that an underlying lack of self-worth could be your cause? To not value yourself is at the root cause of most every health issue that I see with the people that I work with. They share one common characteristic or behavior: the tendency to put others or everything else before self. I know because I did this. So, what is your health worth to you? What do you think it's worth to others? I am sure that your family or your loved ones would agree that whatever you could do to be healthy, it's worth it. God, your Creator, certainly does. Sometimes it's hard to spend the time and effort on yourself, but you are worth it. For the longest time, I thought that hiking, walking, eating what I thought was healthy, living in the country, and things like that were all I needed to be healthy enough. Then mold struck again. Why do I say again? I was conceived in a home with mold and other toxins and lived in that home for the first year of my life. I was born having an asthma attack and had many respiratory infections as a child. This is the way that I grew up, and it continued for much of my life. I thought this was just life, so I did the best I knew how. Also not realizing the impact stress had on me earlier in my adulthood, I lived a very stressful life. Looking back, I did not understand how setting boundaries and keeping my stress levels down. Stress profoundly affects our health, especially if we have not been taught how to deal with life and stress rightly. Later, because I love trees and mountains, I moved into a little house in the woods. The area was so beautiful, and I hiked every day. But within 3 weeks, I was so fatigued and weak that I could no longer get up and go on my wonderful hikes into my beloved outdoors. As it turns out, that house was also moldy. Before long, I could not even eat anything without reacting to it. I could no longer learn anything, and I love learning. I could not remember things past or present. I got athlete's foot. I had body and joint pain and spent years unable to lay still, much less sleep. And the list goes on and on. I tried all the things that Dr. Google told me to do for my symptoms. I would get somewhat better for a while, but then I would get worse again, even developing more symptoms. I kept going for the quick fix because I didn't think I had the money. But when I finally got 100% honest with myself, I also didn't think I was worth the time and the effort that it takes to be healthy. So I wanted a quick fix. Newsflash, quick fixes don't work. Dr. Google can help you point you into the right direction, but it will never be the one to fix the problem. Others might wish you well and want to help, but they can't do it for you. Ultimately, you must take responsibility for your own health. Are you valuing yourself and your body? Don't ignore those signs that you're in need. We just covered several symptoms that would be indicators of health issues, but really, any chronic symptom can be a red flag because inflammation, or the root of all the symptoms that cause illness, surfaces differently for each person. So, now that with any chronic symptom, you could likely reverse it by taking different care of yourself. Let's look at 5 ways or behaviors that I see lack of self-worth showing up in people regularly and see if this rings true for you. Do you say you don't have time to cook, meaning that maybe you're making everything else a priority over cooking? Skip exercising, meaning that you're not willing to make the time or invest in accountability like a personal trainer. Go to bed late, meaning that you're not setting healthy boundaries to make an early bedtime and good rest priorities. Work long hours refusing to delegate or ask for help, usually meaning that you don't want to be seen as less than. Or are you feeling stressed out, meaning that you're not spending the time or money needed to de-stress or not setting boundaries? The reality is that we make time and we find money for what's important for us. If your car broke down and you needed to get somewhere, I'm pretty sure that you would find the money to fix it. In addition, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but how you choose to use that time is what makes all the difference in the world when it comes to your health. Now, it's not your fault that you have not learned to prioritize yourself or see your self-worth. Somewhere along the way, just like me, you learned to not stand up for what you needed and make yourself a priority. This is something that as a society we started to put shame upon. That's why it's so challenging for me to make myself a priority. I felt like taking good care of myself was being selfish. Here's the truth. Embracing your self-worth and making your health and yourself a priority is far from selfish. It's actually essential for your survival and your wellness. If you don't help yourself, no one else can either. I lost my life and myself, but through it, I found out what my health is worth to me and others. Now, at 61 years old, I'm hiking and doing all my favorite things and eating foods I love without symptoms. If after years of mold exposure and symptoms, I can recover from mold illness, you can too. Choose to give yourself proper self-worth. Be good to yourself so that you can be good to others. Find out exactly what's wrong with you and what to do about it. Set the boundaries and priorities necessary to be healthy. And remember that without health, there is no wealth. You can get healthier, and I'm here to help. Just let me know. Thanks. Bye. Have a good day.